Hi everyone, Jasper Basson here, founder of Dryk Holdings and financial director of Lead Optimizers. Today is a very rare occasion of two accountants that will speak to each other. Hi Heinrich.
Good day, Basson.
Heinrich is also accountant based in Fishhoek. Also have a tax practice there, and we thought good to maybe just share some ideas of all the things that we see from entrepreneurs that they maybe can adjust a bit, look into, and also the good things that we see.
Yeah.
So I think it would be good value to just share some ideas of the issues we see maybe at SARS, and also some ideas of improvement for entrepreneurs.
Yeah, thanks for having me, Jasper. It's really nice to come and enjoy just the scenery with you today and just being out here. And yeah, it's always nice for professional people to get together and just to bounce ideas off each other. And it's always nice to have a network of people around us that can assist us, you know, if you've got queries and those type of things. And yeah, so I really enjoy you guys. I hope you guys enjoy the presentation or the video today.
Yes, awesome. Thank you very much. Like you say, we see in the nature here, Bella Reef in the northern suburbs. So yeah, it's a great spot to have a coffee and a quick chat. So let's jump into it. Any specific things that you see that clients recurringly do or often do? I know one of the things that we discuss often is people, I've shared in a previous video as well, clients that tend to use their business accounts for their personal use as well. As accountants, we would also always suggest the client to obviously split their business account and the personal account totally. Give me some ideas what you pick up, if you agree with me, and maybe some suggestions.
Yeah. We had a very interesting case, I think about two weeks ago, where one of my clients were busy applying for a bond. And so the bank was asking for all these documents and salary confirmations and assessment from the receiver of revenue to confirm the income. And when he had to produce his personal bank statements, they just could not justify the salary that he was declaring. So I think that's one thing, because obviously most of these expenses went through his business account. And I think you know, especially when it comes to finance applications, you know, it's always a very difficult thing for those people to try and understand how you can use a business account for personal purposes. It just doesn't make sense. And so I think, yeah, just if you want to manage your finances properly, it's always important that you have to make that split. You know, that you keep your personal and your business stuff separate from each other. And we had a similar situation as well, where we had to do a business valuation a while ago for one of our clients. And because of the way that he was managing his account, the people, when they were busy going through the verification process, they just could not justify what this guy was declaring as profits. The reason being is because of all those personal expenses that was just going through that business account.
Yeah, I agree with you. I think it's the thing that I also pick up the most is, especially with there's two things. When you try to do a finance application with the bank, the more simple you can make it for the bank for an application, the better. And but apart from that, it's so much better for your own budget to make sure you limit your spending for personal use from your business account, to merely look at your budget, decide on a salary, and then actually pay on a monthly basis or on a weekly, fortnightly basis, but pay your salary constantly over, and refuse to use that business card for personal transactions. I think that's the biggest thing that people need to realize, that to build their business, to build their reserves by keeping to a specific budget for in the personal capacity.
Yeah, for sure. I had a case, I remember last year as well, about a guy that's also got his own business, and when it came to tax time, I think, you know, he was transferring one amount on a monthly basis of about 15,000 Rand over to his personal account, which he would use to pay his bond and all that stuff. But when we got to do the actual calculation, he ended up taking, with all the other drawings out of his business, maybe even more than double that amount that he used out of the business. And the problem is, when it comes to tax time, us poor accountants need to do the calculations and break the news to the guy that he's actually short on his tax and he needs to pay in. So I agree fully. You need to create that budget for yourself to say this is the amount that you're going to take out of your business as a salary, and you need to stick to that amount, not to go over that.
I think to make it also maybe clear, because I do have a conversation with clients very often regarding their salary and their drawings, and there seems to be a very big confusion about what is a director's remuneration, what is a salary, and what is drawings.
Yeah.
And in essence, everything is the same. If you have multiple debit card transactions and it's all personal use, it's still a form of a drawing or a salary.
Yeah.
Even if it's not one amount, it's still the same thing. If you pay your bond, you pay your medical aid, you pay your personal groceries out of that business account, you may not see it as a salary. Most people do not see that as a salary, but it's still your drawings, and that's where the issue come in when you need to discuss that with clients regularly, that they did take some portion in a salary, and the other form was in various different debit card transactions or bonds, anything like that. But I think you just mentioned, just to get a step back, you just mentioned something about valuations and business that people want to sell. I think it also gets back to doing things consistently when you want to, in 5 years' time, potentially sell your business. This is things that people look into when they do a due diligence.
Yeah.
They look at certain structures, they need to verify certain things. Do you also sometimes find it difficult when accounts hasn't been held together properly?
Yeah, and I think especially with the valuation of businesses, we were just talking about a bit earlier as well. The people, when they start a business, the original plan is never to sell the business. And so the people go down this line, and all of a sudden something happens that they have to sell the business, maybe for medical reasons or whatever, and then they come and approach us accountants, and then they want to try and get the best price for that business. But if they don't manage those accounts properly and separate the business and the personal stuff from each other, then just the value of the business is maybe sometimes up to about half of what they can actually get for the business, just because of the way that the business is run and the way that it is structured, So I think that's one of the benefits of working closely with an accountant, Those are the type of areas where we are qualified to give the people advice on, how to structure your business in such a way that if you do decide you need to sell it in 5 years or 10 years time, that you can still get the maximum value for the business. I always say to people that if you want to sell a house, you don't wake up today and just put your house in the market. You need to plan to sell a house. You're going to maybe cut the lawn and give it a fresh lick of paint on the house and all that stuff to make the value of the house more. And the same principles apply to business as well. You can't just wake up today and tomorrow you want to sell the business and make a fortune out of it.
No, exactly. People tend to want to deplete their financial statements, especially when there's a lot of cash transactions involved, which is normal for certain businesses. Make sure that you keep a proper petty cash record, proper records, especially in a sense where you have a lot of cash. So before you think about depleting your financial statements, I think have a good look at where you want to go to with your business. I mean, like you say, nobody started a business to sell it. Some people do, but the average person go from employed to self-employed to potential stronger business owner, and the intention is never to really build a business and sell it. They just want to build a business to generate a salary for themselves. So, but I think importantly, look at the structures, like you say, speak to your accountant. I've got a lot of clients that frequently come to me for coffee, so to make sure that everything is still on par. We want to make sure that we're on the right track, especially if you have certain plans for your business. Your accountant's got valuable information. He works with a lot of clients, see everything, the good and the bad, and the ugly. So meet your accountant regularly for coffee, at least once a quarter, and discuss that finer points with him, and really listen to his advice.
And I think just another thing that I want to point out that just come to mind now for people running their own businesses, when a business starts up, any business goes through cycles. And so what I've found, I've seen it so many times over the past years, that the business would go into up cycle, and as soon as that happens, the business owner just goes and he just goes and make debt. They would go buy the biggest car that they can afford. They would try and buy the biggest house, go rent the biggest house, and then what will happen is, as soon as a down cycle hits them, then all of a sudden they can't afford those things, and then is when they start getting into trouble financially. Yes. So I think I always say to the people, one of my best advice that I can give anybody starting his own business is to stay away from debt as far as possible. Yes. Especially those first couple of years, when you start settling down and your business start finding its feet. Yes. Because I've seen that a couple of times in the last couple of years, where people misjudge themselves with what their business potential is, what the business turnover would be.
So if we just look at another spectrum of accounting and where we can assist, the biggest buzzword regarding accounting systems these days is probably Sage Online. It's something that we also refer to a lot of our clients to use, as we can. I mean, it's a nice accounting system, cloud-based. You already have a backup of everything. It's not easily getting lost, and as well, both individuals, your accountant and the client, can sit in the office and remotely log into a cloud-based accounting program. Each person can do their portion. We have a lot of clients that use accounts receivable, so they can issue their invoices and process their payments just to keep that up to date, and we do the difference for them. Do you guys use any other accounting system, or Sage Online also something that you guys use?
Yeah, so I think if you just look at the accounting industry in broad, I think over the past 10 years, if you look at what's happening in the accounting industry now and what happened 10 years ago, it's a complete different environment that we're busy working in. And I think being or using accounting package is just the way to go. We spoke a bit earlier, but with our office as well, I think we also have a lot of people that's on Sage 1 accounting, and I think the two big benefits for that is, or there's three. The one is obviously to have backups. You don't need to sit and worry about what if your computer gets stolen or you get a virus on your computer and all the accounting data is just missing. So I think there's one benefit, because your data is in the cloud over there. And I think the second benefit, like Jasper also mentioned, is that we've got immediate access. So if we need to do a VAT return or need to start working on financial statements, we've got a different screen where we log in, where we can actually access all our clients' information over there. So it just made the support on accounting packages so much easier. Yeah. And just the usability of the program itself. If I had to compare Sage 1, the way that the program is designed, to what the old versions of the Pastor used to be so much easier system just to work with. And so I'm a really big fan of cloud accounting packages. I think it's the way of the future.
I think just to make it clear, we know Sage Online. We don't get sponsored by Sage Online. It's really the ease of the product that we really enjoy. Yeah. But on that note as well, I think people tend to see us as sometimes just a quick solution to general need that they have now regarding accounting or data captures. But as your accountant, again, seeing a lot of various experiences from, or receiving a lot of experience from clients, there's so much more that we can offer than purely just being a data capture, as in the old days.
Yeah, I think a lot of people see accountants as somebody just to help them to stay compliant, to make sure that everything is submitted in time with such that you don't incur penalties. And I think that's how far a lot of people see the duties of an accountant goes. But as Jasper said, with all the experience and all the knowledge and all the insight that we have, I think accountants can offer so much more for people. Especially we were talking about valuations a bit earlier. Just the way that it can streamline your business, that it can actually create something that is of more value, just creating something that you can just earn a revenue from. So I think those are just one of the aspects where we can be of assistance for clients. Yeah.
But I think the importance as well, like I mentioned just now as well, make sure you meet your accountant regularly. Take personal responsibility to keep your business growing, your accountant do have a lot of various clients, and make sure you're that person that he really attends to. Make sure he understands that you're very interested in growing your business, and that you need to really attend to your business in more than just the typical accounting and statutory work. Everybody can do a VAT return, everybody can do a pay-as-you-earn return, anyone in the sense of accountants. Almost everybody can do a financial statements, but what do we take from there and assist you to grow your business? Okay, I think just lastly, we do experience, I think everybody see it on media and everything as well, but I mean, we do experience a lot of tax audits these days, some good, some bad. I approve SARS doing a lot of audits, maybe not as much as they do, but I mean, it's still a business. It's a business that need to generate money for the country, and they also need to cover their backsides regarding people that do fraudulent VAT claims, etc. So I mean, from that point of view, we all can understand that there is tax audits. I recently done a video regarding rental property, rental income, that people really need to make sure that before they even submit the tax return, I mean, from our side and our practice, we don't submit any documents, financial statements, or anything, any tax return before we have the proper supporting documents, just merely because the turnaround time from that you submit to the audit to potential turnaround of expenses, and I mean, from there you need to do a notice of objection and everything. So it's so quickly that, I mean, if you don't have the documents ready, you don't have enough time to gather everything and all the supporting documents. So do you have the same experience?
What I find, I had an interesting conversation a while ago with one of my friends, and we need to understand where the receiver of revenue is coming from. And they've got a 15 billion rand shortfall on their budget for this year, so they need to collect that money from somewhere, and unfortunately we the taxpayers are the people that need to finance them. And so because of that, the experiences that we've had so far is that they're not unfair, but we must make sure that we've got all our ducks in a row before we start with the audit process. You know, just taking recently with the VAT rate change was a good example of that. You know, where the VAT forms was a bit more complicated because we had to account for two different VAT rates, and just on that VAT rate change, I think in my practice alone, we've got about 5 VAT audits at the moment that they're busy with.
Yes.
And you know, when we contact those clients and say, listen, here's the SARS checklist, these are the documents we need. As soon as the people start sending through those invoices, every now and then we pick up that one of the basic things, like maybe having the correct name on a VAT invoice, the people don't comply with that stuff. So I think it's a good thing to go through those audits as well, just to make sure that your business ticks all the boxes that you actually compliant with the receiver of revenue.
Sharpening up the skills.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, I think on that note, I mean, if anybody that listen here don't really have the idea of exactly what need to be on emails, and by exactly I really mean exactly. SARS look for any potential small little thing on an invoice to throw that invoice out, especially for VAT. So if you don't have an idea, I mean, inbox me after this video in the comments below, and I will gladly send you an idea of an invoice. And because I really feel it's really important to make sure that that's correct.
Yeah, on the SARS website they've also got a very nice link to a VAT checklist, which Jasper can also maybe just add on a link on the video for today.
Perfect. Do you have any other, I mean, like I said, I'm trying to be a precaution of what can happen if there's a SARS audit. Do you also have that at this stage, that same principle in your office to make sure you rather be safe than sorry, rather let the client be a bit irritated about you not submitting the tax return, but rather have everything together?
Yeah, for sure. I recall one situation last year where we actually, on the deadline, when it was very close to the deadline of the personal tax returns, where we submitted one guy's return, and so he supplied us with all the information, and unfortunately he could not supply us with all the invoices that was on the spreadsheet that he sent through to us. So SARS did the audit, and as they went through that, obviously they added those expenses back, and unfortunately this guy got a penalty, for trying to claim things in his tax return for which he didn't have the documents for. So I think it's rather worth it to be a bit proactive, to make sure you've got all the documents in place, especially this year because we've got a shorter tax season as well. They shorten it with 1 month.
And especially with a lot of tax, I've seen a very big increase in tax audits. So your chance is probably about 60 to 80% that you will get an audit, especially if you get a refund, which is fair again, but make sure the documents is 100% correct before you even submit.
And another thing, just from an accountant's point of view, just to be honest with the accountants as well, to make sure that they actually declare everything to us. I think the worst thing for us as accountants is to go through a whole audit process and all of a sudden you get a new assessment from the receiver of revenue and they picked up that somebody's got another income stream which they never declared to us, like rental properties that they don't declare on their tax returns, or maybe commission that they earn from somewhere, and because those things are, I must say, a little bit embarrassing for us as accountants.
It's really true. I've sat in some very big meetings with SARS. The 8th floor in SARS Cape Town is always a dreadful place to be in any case. But I've sat there with the client giving me affidavits of certain things, and when we sat there, SARS showed me all the various other information with the client, and you really feel you feel on the spot, and you've really done everything from your side to make sure that information is correct. What's more to affidavit than not to trust it? I think that's an important point. To step away a bit from the tax conversation, I know these days I use Zoom a lot for. It's the same as Skype. I use Zoom a lot for potential meetings, especially obviously with petrol price. People tend to not want to drive a lot. I still like the personal touch much better than a potential Zoom. But do you guys in your practice also use certain apps that make your life easier as you go along?
I think for meetings, what we've been using lately is Google Hangouts, and I think the advantage of that is you can actually sit on your computer and you can switch screens so that the client can actually see what's on your computer while you're busy explaining away how a certain program works or when you're busy doing training. So Google Hangouts is something that we use a lot in our office, and I think I was just saying to Jasper, there's certain programs, that just change the way that we as a practice operate. I'm a big fan of Gmail. So what happens is we've got quite a few websites out there, and each of them's got its own email address, but the way that Gmail is set up, you can actually link up all those emails, that all of them go through to one Gmail account, and as soon as you reply, it looks like you're actually replying from that other website. So that's something that's just streamlined my business so much. And I think the other program that I can't live without is Dropbox. Just the way that we can share documents and stuff between the different computers in our practice. If my assistant works on her computer, as soon as she changes something, that changes or that document is immediately on my side as well. So I think that's something that really made my life a lot easier. And I think Google Calendar is also a very important thing for me as well, because I plan my whole life around Google Calendar, and the nice thing about that as well is my assistant can actually log into my calendar to see exactly what I'm busy with every day, and where I am and where I've got meetings. So it just streamlined my life. I think those are, in a nutshell, the apps that I use the most, or the programs that we use the most in our office.
Just something on Zoom. I'm not sure if you ever use Zoom, but Zoom is also the same idea than your Google Hangout. So I haven't used Google Hangout, but I regularly use Zoom, and Zoom is also the same thing, that you can have multiple people on there. You can also share presentations easily on there. So I think it's a good. I also learned something new today. I actually don't know about Google Hangout, so awesome, great thing. Thanks for the feedback. Now I've seen you do a lot of. You've also have like me some morning rituals. You also like the early mornings. You're very fortunate to be next to the beach at Vishoek, awesome side of the world. I only recently discovered Vishoek and Kalkbaai and those places, but you regularly visit the beach early morning, just to the start of your day, or what is the practice?
So our mornings normally start between about 5 and 5:30 in the morning as well. And normally if I wake up, first thing is I would also grab a cup of coffee, same as what Jasper does. He's also a big coffee fan. Then after that, depending on what day of the week it is, I would start my day off with some Bible reading. I think that's just a book that's just alive to me. There's so many stories in there, and things that we can take out of the Bible that we can take to implement in our lives. And then after that, normally on a Tuesday and a Thursday morning, I'll go for a nice run. We normally run about 5:45 in the morning, try and finish about 6:45, and then after that I catch a quick dip there at the beach, and then it's back to the house to get the kids back to school and all that stuff. And then once I drop him off at school, I normally drop him off at about 7:30, and then I take about a half an hour that I just go down to the beach, and I would just sit and read a book, or just do some reflection about what I want to have, what I want to accomplish for that specific day. I think it's always good to have a little bit of time in the mornings just to reflect and just to make sure that you're still on the right track, with where you're busy heading and what your long-term goals are, because life is just so busy. We need to make time just to reflect on those type of things.
No, I firmly believe as well. I mean, our life has got so busy that our focus is tends to be all over the place if we don't control it. So by settling down, by reflecting, especially early morning, I've got various clients feeling various things. Some are night owls. I also like the mornings because I can set up my day going forward in planning, in reading. Like I say, some people do meditate, some people do prayer. I like to do both. But yeah, just to slow yourself down, and that's the only way you can be creative as well, and really set up your day. I think there's a guy, Robin Banks, that has got a whole session of Mind Strong, I think, Mind Power, and I mean I started believing a lot. I've got no real deep information about the Robin Banks Mind Power program, but what I do believe, and I'm preaching a lot for my clients as well, too. If you make your mind strong in the morning, you can face any potential problems during the day, and it won't face you that much.
Yeah.
Because you could reflect, you could prepare your own brain yourself for the day. Do you have any other daily habits, maybe in the office? Like I like to every 50 minutes or 60 minutes, I take like 10 minutes and just do light reading, just take my mind off things, and then from there I really focus again.
Yeah.
Do you have any habits during the day that you also do?
Yeah, I think my typical day when I get to the office is just to make sure that everybody's got their work sorted out for the day. And then after that, I normally also try and break up my day into certain sections where I normally try and work between about an hour and a half. And then after that, I would go have a quick stretch, maybe make a cup of coffee, and then jump back into it again. Because I think, a person can only concentrate for so long, and then after that, you start becoming distracted. You start losing concentration. So I think we need to manage the way that we do our work, and especially in the mornings, because the mornings are our most productive time. If you don't use that time wisely, then the whole day is going to be past, and we won't be able to accomplish anything in that specific day.
Yeah.
So I think my biggest challenge, just business-wise, is distractions. I think we spoke about it before. Just the way that we handle our emails and our phone calls and those type of things. As soon as you have one distraction, it's easily 15 minutes out of the hour that's gone, just to refocus again with what you're busy with. So sometimes if we as accountants don't want to answer our phones in the mornings, it's not on purpose, it's because we're actually working.
Yeah. I actually started explaining to some clients as well. I have certain slots that I do certain things. I'm not on WhatsApp all the time. I'm trying to be there on certain slots of the day. Same with returning phone calls. If it's very important, I can see it's very important, and I'll quickly handle it. Otherwise, I tend to slot in a time period in the day as well to returning calls. And the same with emails. These days I check emails twice a day, and that's it. There's really something urgent. Clients know. I've communicated with them as well, so clients do know where I'm about and why I'm doing certain things. So yeah, if there's really something important, somebody would send me a WhatsApp or something. But yeah, I think we can't be productive. And the essence is, if I'm working on your financial statements now, you don't really want me to be distracted by somebody else. You want me to focus on your financial, to do the best job I can
Exactly.
in that time period.
Yeah.
And then I can start focusing on the next client.
Yeah, and I think something that we've got in common, just the way that our practice is set up, I've got a personal assistant and Jasper's also got somebody, so the people know that the girls in the office, they can contact them any time of the day. And if it's something that they can't sort out, then we will step in and help from there. But I think our first point of contact is always with our office staff, because those people are definitely more than capable to sort out most SARS issues and most SARS queries.
Yes, yeah, for sure. We generally or regularly share some ideas of books that we read. Just one or two that really impressed you in the last 6 to 12 months that you've read.
Yeah, I think last year I read a book with the name of The 4-Hour Work Week by Tim Ferriss. And I remember my wife looked at me with big eyes when I picked up this book, because she was thinking, how on earth are you only going to work 4 hours a week? And I actually, if you go look at my car, I actually have the book in my car door. So every now and then when I've got a spare 10 minutes or 15 minutes, I've actually got a lot of stickers inside that book, so I go and review some of those principles. It's not about working only for 4 hours a week, but just the practical things that this guy gives about how to be more productive in your business. That thing is worth its money in gold. I think that I'm a very firm believer in that book. And then last year, towards the end of last year, I read a book from a guy called Steve Artsell. And this guy wrote a book with the name of The 5-Hour Workday, where this guy had a surfing company in America, and they were battling, they weren't making ends meet. And when they went through a quiet period, I think it was through a winter time, they shortened their workdays down to a 5-hour workday, and just how the difference that made in his business. And we actually ended up being one of the top 100 fastest growing companies in America. So it's just this guy's whole testimony about how the 5-hour workday actually transformed his business. And I think for us, people that work with our minds, I think computers has changed the whole way that we do business. And I think this is the way that, or what this guy talks about, that we can't concentrate for 8 hours non-stop. All of us, if you're concentrating, you're lucky if you get 5 hours worth of productive work. As soon as you start going past that, you start planning your next holiday and start thinking what you're going to do lunchtime and those type of things, and you're actually not productive.
The Tim Ferriss that you mentioned first, he once said, how is it possible that everybody in the world need to work 8 hours a day? And that was really something catching for me. I don't think the idea of, like you said, the idea of a 4-hour work week, that book, is not really, I think somebody actually need to go and read it to understand that it's not really about the 4-hour work week, but that guy, Tim Ferriss, had started the business and had to be in all places and had to be all things to all people. And he had to find a way to automate a big portion of his life by various structures. Yeah. And I think that is the idea that we can take. I mean, accountants and people will scare them to death when they hear the accountants say they're only going to work 4 hours a day or 4 hours a week. But it's not really about working 4 hours a week. It's more making your life, streamline your life, make a lot of things automated.
Yeah.
And from there. And all these principles is to help you to make yourself productive.
Yeah. So another interesting book that I read this year is a book with the name of The Happiness Advantage. And when I picked up this book, I thought, what is this thing about? And I was just sharing with Jasper what a big impact that makes. Just practical things. It's a very science-based thing. So everything is backed up by tests. So the psychologists that about the happiness principle. A lot of people they make a statement to say that we've got the formula mixed up, where a lot of people say you must firstly work hard, and then after that you will become successful, and after you become successful you will be happy. Where this guy said that is a flawed idea. It's actually the other way around. We first need to be happy, and then after that we will be motivated or we'll become successful, and then after that we will actually work hard because we see ourselves as successful. So I think there was just so many gems in that book that I just took out of it. It's not a business related type of a book, but I think it just made a very big impact in my life, just the way that I see life and just the way that I approach life. Yeah.
I think just to add to that, and we also talk about that regularly, but success it's a very broad word. My success might be driving in Maseratis all day long and wanting to live in mansions. Nothing wrong with that. If that is your success, that's good with me. Your success might be to work 5 hours a day, have a very relaxed life, going to the beach every day, be productive in that 5 hours, but that is your limit that you want to do, and you don't necessarily want to have a lot of income or massive wealth, but at least enjoy your life, spending time with your kids. I know I recently had a big mind change regarding, we always tend to just go. Just success, if you just look at the word success and what the society brings out there, we always just want to tend to go. There will never be enough success, but success comes from inside, and I think that's what the book as well explained and aiming to explain.
Yeah, I think we all of us need to make a decision or have a look and decide what is important for us. You know, there's always that old story where the guy says that on his deathbed, people never will say that I wish I worked harder. People always end up saying that they wish they spend more time with the family and the friends, the people that's important to them. So I think the true wealth of the modern day era is time. You know, if we can get more free time to spend with our loved ones, I think that is the bottom line.
Yes, absolutely. Thank you for taking the time today. It's always great to chat with the accountant. Most accountants are not really willing to normally chat about the tax information, to keep it at the chest. It's awesome that I've been having a lot of conversations with you in the past as well, and it's always nice to catch up and chat about the good things, but also the struggles that we have as accountants. So thank you very much for having me.
Yeah, thank you, Jasper. It was really nice. I really enjoyed the lunch and the talk with you, and I'm sure that the people out there is going to enjoy the talk just as much as that we did. Thanks.
If you guys did find value from this video, please remember to subscribe to our YouTube channel, and please also share this video with a fellow entrepreneur friend.